Quitting does to your brain. I just read this book called The Dip. Now I'm going to explain what quitting does to you or why quitting is good for you, but first I'm going to explain the dip and what makes people the best. In the book, it talks about the top 1%, the best of the best in terms of like actors, CEOs, top chefs, stuff like that. And if you look at the distribution of resources across the industry, you see that the top 1%, most of the money, like 50% of the money across the board. So let's just say in the chef world, right? The top chefs make about 100 times more than the average chef, which is really crazy. But why is there such a stark difference between us, the average person, and then the top 1%? Why is there like this 100 times difference between us? Because Jeff Bezos isn't 100 times better than everybody else. So why does he make 100 times more than everybody else? If you think of like Michael Phelps, studies show that like Olympic athletes, the top 1% athletes, or the ones who win the gold medals, are just 1% better than all the other athletes there. Michael Phelps is just 1% better than them, meaning they train 1% harder than everybody else, yet they get paid 100 times more than everybody else. Our human nature is to reward the best, to value the best, not to give out handouts. So our job as a human is to strive to be the best at something, the best in the world, and to be the top 1%. I don't want to die and then like all that's said of me is Karston was just like everybody else, right? Because that hurts to say, and like no one wants to be that, right? No one wants to be that average person. So what do I need to do to be great at something? The average person starts something and then they quit it, and they just give up when they feel pain. That's where the dip comes in. So you see, when people go through the dip, they give up because they're not really trying to become the best. Or when they go through the dip, they don't push past it in order to get to the reward on the other side. So how is quitting good for us? What does quitting actually do for us? The main lesson here is that you should quit. You should quit the things that you know you're not going to be the best at. So obviously we all do a ton of things, and so we should only do the things that we only know that we're going to succeed in, or we want to succeed in and be the best at. Because with anything else, you're not going to want to go through the pain, and you're just going to give up anyways. So might as well not waste your time. Wasting your time on so many things when you could be the best at the one thing that you actually want to do. Here's a good example. My girlfriend, Elizabeth, she makes these really cool hair pieces, hairpins. She started making them and putting them on Etsy to sell online. And at first, she was only getting a few sales, like 1 or 2 a month. And the most of the sales were coming from her friends and her family. And her goal is to be the best of the best, to make the best hairpins better than everybody else, right? It really wasn't worth it in the beginning. Like if the average person would have just stopped there and said like, okay, this is too hard, or like this isn't really working, let me just go to something else, because they're not really trying to be the best of the best. They're just trying to look for the extrinsic reward that comes from doing that, which is like money. And so if you're just doing it for money, then you're probably not going to get much out of it. She went through the initial pain, the dip, and did everything that she could to learn how to sell better on Etsy, or like mimic other people, like what are they doing and how do we copy them, and test out a whole bunch of different products to see like what people actually want to buy. And she landed on the butterfly pins. People were buying those more than anything else. So now she's at a point where she's getting 2+ sales a day, and it's actually like a good side income for her, and it's only growing from here. So she went through that dip, that initial hard investment that she had to put in time and effort and energy into. But she did it because she knew she wanted to get to the other side, and she knew that like she wanted to be the best, and she wasn't going to give up just because it was hard in the beginning. So now she's at the other side, and it's only going to get up from here. And she's at a point where it's like the demand is almost too much to handle, because she's getting so many orders. And if you think of CEOs and their luxurious lifestyles, you can think about all the years of pain that they had to go through in order to get to that result. All of the days of like working harder than everybody else just to get to that end result of becoming the CEO. And it's the same for any industry. So doctors, top chefs, or salesmen. Salesmen can be the highest paying job or the least paying job, just depending how willing you are to become the best at it. So if you're not wanting to be the best at something, stop wasting your time and just give up on it. Now, there's exceptions to this, like playing the piano for fun or exercising. But even with exercising or playing the piano, most people give up when it gets difficult or it gets hard. They don't push past that initial pain, and then they never actually get better. So they never really get the reward that they were wanting. And so then they just give up because they're not making any progress, because they're not willing to go through the pain. So then they just never become anything, and then they just don't become they don't become special, right? The moral of the story is, if you're trying to do something, right, in your professional life, give up on the things that you know you're not going to be the best at. And if you are trying to be the best at something, put everything you can into it. Go through the dip, through the valley, through the pain in order to get to the result on the other side of the dip. And if you don't go through the pain, through the valley, or through the dip, then you're just going to be like everybody else, going down the broad path and the path of least resistance, which means there's nothing really special about you. which is kind of sad. Let's have a moment of silence for our healthy loved ones.
In the arms of the angel.
How does this apply to me? I'm so glad that you asked. If you don't know, I'm trying to build a business from 0 to $1 million in 12 months. So far, I've been doing marketing for solar companies and roofing companies mainly. And the problem is I know I'm not gonna be the best of the best. I know I really don't want to be the best of the best. So I'm just wasting my time if I keep pursuing this thing because I'm not really gonna get any good rewards out of it. I'm not gonna make $1 million if I don't really wanna do it. The goal is to switch gears here on out and to move into phase 2 of our 12-month plan, which we established in the very, very beginning, my first video in the series. And phase 2 is kind of like creating a product and then launching that product. And that product will be mostly our main thing, so our actual business model. So this is just to keep me afloat, like the marketing thing. So I'm going to keep the clients that I currently have just to stay alive and to eat, but not really pursuing this anymore and moving more into what I want to do, which is like creating a product and then launching it. I'm also going to be doing more YouTube stuff. So doing this more often, creating the best videos that I can, having the best videos on the platform and not just mindless entertainment. So stuff that actually provides value to you. Some product ideas that I have are using the software as a white label, putting my name on it, but marketing it towards a business to business product rather than an agency product, which is what people are usually using it as. Also, I'm going to try Fiverr. So stick around. I'll probably do a video about that. Like, can I be successful with Fiverr? Because I have this idea for video stuff that I can do on Fiverr. Okay. All right. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to my YouTube channel to see more awesome videos like this. I know this was pretty awesome. You don't have to tell me in the comments. I already know. It's okay. Thank you so much for listening to my TED Talk. Make sure to subscribe for more videos like this, and make sure to check out my sponsor, Gary Busey. Take it away, Gary Bear. First try, bro. Second try. Third try. Fourth try. Fifth try. 17th try. 42nd try.